Hello and welcome to the Class Business Podcast. I'm Kristine, Monaghan, your host, and today we are joined by Tim Freed from Book That In, our headline sponsor for the Class Business Awards. Book That In is a booking system built specifically for class-based businesses, from children's activities to fitness to well-being to adult learning to franchises. They help business owners automate their bookings, reduce admin, and free up their time to focus on what they do best. In this conversation, we're going to talk about the realities of running a class-based business, the role systems play in growth, and how getting bookings right can support long-term success. So let's get into it. Tim, it's so good to have you here. For those of you who don't know Book That In, can you tell us who they are, what you do, and where did the business start? How did it all come together?
I can indeed, yeah. Good to see you, Chrissy. So Book That In, we took on our first paying customer in 2017.
Wow.
So we're actually a little bit older than a lot of businesses think. So we provide a booking system. It's an online booking and payments platform that's been built specifically with class providers in mind. So there are hundreds and hundreds of different booking systems out there that you can choose, but there are also hundreds of niches, and each different slight niche has its own requirements. Book That In has been designed with activity providers, with class providers specifically in mind, because they have different requirements for the block bookings and subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. So it's a professional platform. You can embed it on your website. You can style it so it all matches your brand. It all looks good. Gives your users and customers a really nice booking flow, nice and easy and quick, so they can book in, and then gives you as a provider a great experience in terms of managing your classes and reporting and all that kind of stuff. So,
obviously, you're co-founder. So, how did this partnership form? Where did the original name come from?
Oh my gosh, well, that's a good question, and that's quite an amusing story. So, as you know, I run another business called Toddle About. Toddle About was my first business, the first jump into entrepreneurialism, and Book That In was born out of Toddle About. So Toddle About is effectively a hub. People call it their Bible for everything baby and toddler. But the online version, it was just a website you could put your postcode in to find what was going on. And back in, I guess, 2015, I was looking at how we could expand that provision. And could we allow the providers who are on the Toddle About website to take bookings and payments via the site? So that's the origin story. I went out looking for off-the-shelf platforms that could service a marketplace like ours, and just nothing existed. So I was looking at, could we build it ourselves? And I went out and I got some quotes, and I went, nope, I cannot build it myself. That's way too expensive. But it happened that my wife, Ruth, was friends with somebody called Claire, and they met doing baby swimming. So there's even a class-based origin there. And Claire's husband, Alec, turned out he was building a booking system. Slightly different, but in terms of the niche that he was going for. But we spoke and we chatted, and essentially, to cut a long story short, I needed a booking system, but he needed customers. He had no customers. He was a great techie, but no customers. I had customers, but no booking system. So we decided to join forces. So we went in together. The system, as he had it at that point, was called Ding Dong Diary, which is a really catchy name, but it was quite Marmite. So some people loved it, some people hated it, and I wasn't sure. And it actually evolved through another name. We changed the names then to Ticked It, so you could, if you tick things off your list, that was the idea. But then no one could hear what we were saying when we said the name, and so then we were thinking, okay, what would be a great name? And we just went, well, what do you do when you want to book something in? You just say, well, let's book that in. Let's book that in. So we went, do you know what? Let's call it Book That In, because that's what we do.
I actually remember Toddler About because when I lived in Stratford-upon-Avon in Warwickshire,
yeah,
that magazine was one of the first magazines I came across when I had my daughter Bronwyn, because we lived in Isle of Skye, then we moved back to Stratford-upon-Avon. Bronwyn was about 6 months old, and I was looking for activities to do. And that was the magazine that I found in the library.
Fantastic. I love that.
Yes. And we obviously used that. And when I owned Mess Around Limited, when I took over Mess Around Stratford-upon-Avon, I'm sure the owner at the time got me an advert in that magazine, because I've probably got it in the drawer somewhere. And also, you might not remember, I don't know if it was you leading that magazine at that time, but my daughter Bronwyn was actually one of the cover babies.
The cover ones?
Yes, so she did. So when the London 2012 Olympics was on, we had to enter a picture in to get the cover shot. Yes. And Bronwyn was entered on her dad's shoulder with a flag on in the air. You've probably still got it somewhere.
I will. I have a copy, a record of every copy, yeah. And
Bronwyn was on the front of the magazine. And so I remember the magazine really, really well. And also do remember booking systems. No, there was none. Because I used to have to take checks, and that's if people paid me, but they would give me a check, or you had like a PayPal link on the website and people used to just hit that for the PayPal link. That was the booking system that I had when I first got my franchise. So that was, I remember that well. And obviously, there was nothing there. So there's obviously massive gap in the market. So you've worked with like so many providers, like a wide range of class business owners, from kids right through to adults to franchises. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you see right now in terms of patterns from providers? Like, what do they struggle with most operationally?
Everything that's not running their classes. If that's not too general. I mean, I really feel for these guys, because they are brilliant at running classes. They're brilliant at bringing these activities to their audience. But then the actual running a business side, that's stuff that, most of them, not all of them, most of them have not been trained in. So I think it is a bit of a shock to the system, certainly when they first start out, that they go, oh, hang on. Actually, the running of the classes is actually quite a small part of my weekly job. I've got to do all my marketing, and I've got to do my admin, and I've got to manage the bookings, and I've got to, do all that stuff. So I think it's organization and making sure that all the different bits get done. There's so much that does need doing. I know that's a bit of a naff response, but it's, so many of the activity providers, a lot of them say that they have ADHD. That seems to be quite a common theme. And I think just, kind of nailing down all those details and making sure you do things methodically is really quite a challenge.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And like one of the biggest time drains is managing bookings, etc., coming in. And I remember when I launched in Inverness. So I was launching a Mess Around in Inverness, and we were doing, we didn't even have a payment thing. We literally, they had to fill in a form to book a place, which was on the website. And then when they booked, I then had to send them all personalized emails to get them to pay. Right. When I launched in Inverness, at the time I was running my sessions on my own. I was doing 2 events back to back. I had 100-something people book in. And I was like, oh my Lord, 100 people to manage to get money off and get them to chase them down for payments, and then send them a confirmation email to tell them they've actually got a place and the time and everything else. And obviously, like the systems that you have now, like what you've built, they just weren't around then. You just had to cobble it together. So the admin side of it has been made a lot easier by systems like that you've got. And obviously it's people embracing the tech, so to speak.
Yeah, and a lot of them do struggle with that because it's not their natural place to live and to play. They a lot of them don't like the tech stuff initially. They love it. They love what it does for them, but actually, it's quite scary, I think. Yeah,
and they want to make it, and you make it as easy as possible for people to book as well, isn't it? So it's having that whole customer interaction that's obviously easy for them to book. So in your experience, like how does a solid like booking system impact like customer confidence and that conversion? Because I can imagine my people when I was sending out my things to Inverness, like hunting around my page, looking for like how do they book, how do they get themselves a place, was not easy.
I think it helps in loads of ways. So first of all, it makes you look more professional as a provider, right? If you've got a professional booking system, when a customer comes on, it's reassurance. I think they just go, oh, okay, I feel safe here. They know what they're doing. They've got it sorted. Having an email or a form and then sending a backs transfer, I think it just feels a bit icky now to people. And it maybe leaves them feeling a little bit unsure about the, how bona fide is this provider. So that's the first win, and that's a really quick and easy win. If it looks professional and it's easy, then customers love that too because it's easy for them to book. But they can, there's a few things, but they can book any time of day, right? So especially with people who've got babies and they've been booking baby classes, we see on our platform the amount of bookings that we get between 2 and 4 a.m. going through the system, when I'm convinced that's when mums are up there just, feeding baby and going, what should I do? And they're actually making bookings then. So being able to book when it works for them, as opposed to when it works for the provider, and getting an instant response is really big. So
basically, if there's providers out there right now, still many using spreadsheets, still like DMing, still using like multiple tools to stitch things together, at what point, like, do you think that starts to hold the business back if they've just not got systems in place?
So I think if like the general response is they know when it's holding them back, because they are they're starting to drop balls. They can't communicate with people quickly enough to get the money in, and then they need to check the bank to see if they've paid. And then, you can handle that with a handful of people. And I would suggest that's probably the right place for people to start, because you want to prove the concept first, and then you can put all the systems in place. But I think very quickly it can become really hard to manage. And I would suggest, as soon as you've got a couple of classes a week, you're really going to start struggling to give everybody the attention, and you'll notice you're not giving everyone the service that you need to. So you need to start systemizing.
And so when you're like, how do people start working with Book That In? Do they get in touch with you? Like, how does that work? Them onboarding?
Yeah, that actually brings me back to the point I was going to make earlier about having a booking system, is that not everybody likes talking to people.
No.
A lot of people do not want to pick up the phone to ask a provider about questions. They just want to find the information out, and they want to be able to book. So that is another thing that a booking system does. But to answer your later question, the reason that ties in is because we've basically made it so you can sign up to Book That In any which way you want. So you can book a demo with me, and I will spend some time getting to know your business, and I'll show you the platform, and we can decide then if it's going to work for you or not. Some people love doing that. Other people just don't want to get on a call for whatever reason. I know I'm kind of scary, so I don't know if they want to talk to me. But I think, genuinely, when you get on a demo, some people think they're going to be really get the hard sell. That is not something I do. I do know that I'm sure some places will do that, but I understand why people would be scared of that. So you can also just go on our website and create an account and start setting it up. So there's no requirement to go through me. It's just that if you go through me, it'll be an easier process, and you'll know very quickly if it's right or wrong for you. But if somebody just wants to go on and play, they can go on to bookthatin.com. They can create an account. We've got tutorials and videos to show them how to set it all up. They never need to speak to me ever if they don't want to, or to my team. But yeah, we are around. So it just depends on how they want to do it.
Yeah, there's people that are competent and they just want to DIY, but they just do it themselves. They'll just log in and create those accounts. And if they want more of a bespoke support package because they're not sure what to do, then you guys guide them through that.
Yeah, and we do a lot of setup for them as well. A lot of people will just say, okay, just send us your details, we'll get it set up, and then we kind of hand it over to them just to make it easier.
Oh, that's cool. And so you support franchisees as well as independents. and other class-based businesses. So like what
Yes.
type of people are on the platform? Like what businesses have we got?
Loads. So the majority are children's activities providers, because that's the natural link with Toddle About, and that's just kind of what's come over. But we also have a lot of fitness businesses, so yoga, Pilates, just general fitness or boot camp type classes. We have dog trainers. So we've got a few of those. They are very popular, and that seems to be quite a growing industry. We have sailing. We have tutors, so education. We've got a couple of local authorities, so councils, that use us for their adult provisions, their adult learning courses. So it's
a whole range of different businesses owners using the systems.
Yeah.
And in terms of like, if there's business owners that are scaling their business either through a franchise and license, you guys have got the capacity to take them on and help them with their systems.
Yeah, 100%. So we've built Book That In so that if you are a franchisor, then you can have oversight of your whole franchise network. So all of the franchisees can have their own account and they'll only see their stuff. But then as the franchisor, you can have access to everybody's, and you get franchisor reporting. And we've also created it so that if the franchisor wants to, we can automate the collection of their management service fees. So they can just say, I take a percentage or I take a fixed fee for every booking, and then it'll just automatically get paid to them, which is really nice. It's not right for every franchise, but a lot of them it works really well, because then you don't get that icky point where the franchisees have to pay an invoice to the franchisor. It's just always paid before they even get the money in their bank.
No, I think that's brilliant. Like, I always tell people, franchisors, like, if you can take payment at source, take payment at source, because it just improves the franchisor's cash flow for a start off, because they're just getting money in that's due to the company. And then, like you said, it just takes the pain out of invoicing. Also, I also think it's great that the money, like, they get paid when they get paid, because then the franchisees already, like, the money's gone, so they don't have to think that, I've got to go and pay this at the end of the month. Definitely is a massive plus for a franchisor or a licensor who is scaling. From experience, I know firsthand of doing invoices every month and chasing money down and stuff. It's just not a great situation to be in. So that's brilliant that you do that for them. And what mistakes do you see class business owners doing when they're choosing setting up a booking system, and like, how could they avoid making those mistakes?
I guess it depends where they are coming from. So when they're coming from, like, the spreadsheets and backs payments and things, and they're looking at setting up a system, the biggest mistake I see there is it's overly complex. So when they've been doing it themselves, they've literally provided to every individual customer's requirements. They know that this customer books in for the block, but this one comes every fortnight, and this one comes for the first half, but then she can't afford to pay for it all up front, so she pays half now and then half later. This one over here.
Here going.
Yeah. I mean, you must see this too, right? But that's when they don't have a system, they haven't had to systemize, so they just give any customer what they want, because they just want the customers and they want to make them happy. So I totally get that. But as soon as you try and start to systemize it, and they come to me and they say, I want to be able to do this, 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 this. And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you could do that, but you don't want to. And I have to kind of pull them back and say, right, this is a really good excuse and a really good chance for you to actually say, these are your options. You can book the block, or you can do a drop-in. We don't have any other options, or you can do your subscription or whatever. So that's a big mistake people make at that point. But I tend to coach people through that, and it works quite well. And then I suppose the other main mistake is worrying too much about the cost. Actually, now you might think I would say that, but I'm trying to be objective here. In that a lot of people will come to me and they will be worried about the cost of a booking system. And they're looking at, how can I afford to pay for that? And they don't think about how much time it's going to save them and how much money they are wasting on those soft costs of them spending all that time that they can now claim back. So it's not that they shouldn't worry about it. It's absolutely something they should consider, and maybe they should increase their prices to cover it, or whatever it is. But I think there's...
You get that, and I think that's part of the education piece around running a business. Like, you have associated costs, which then need to be built into pricing. And yeah, there's definitely a mindset thing going on where they're like, well, if I just do it myself, then I can save. But then you're like, yeah, but then you're spending 10 hours chasing customers up where you can just put them on a system and the system does it for you.
Yeah.
And that's the education piece, isn't it, really? Because I get it with clients I work with, and I'm like, are you for real? You just need to pay the money and just buy back your time so you can focus on delivering your excellent classes, or focus on marketing the business instead of worrying about how much it's costing you to actually process a payment. And obviously,
as well, Chrissy, by the way, we've made it really easy for people to do this. So we just charge a percentage of the payments that go through. So typically all they have to do is add 25p or 50p to the cost of their session, and it will cover the cost and more of using the booking platform. But so many of them are nervous about putting their prices up, even by 25p or 50p. And I try to coach them with that. But I do understand the hesitancy and the nervousness around putting prices up, but I do run into that quite a lot, where I'm just like, honestly, your customers...
No one will even batter an eyelid. Like, they won't even notice. That's the difference, isn't it? I know I've been there as well when I've been working with clients. I'm like, just put the price up. And they're like, but no, just do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. Because, like you said, people don't notice, unless it's like a massive price hike, they're not going to imagine 50p or a pound, and they're going to realize that obviously there's cost associated with running the business. And obviously for Book That In, obviously we've known each other a long time. Like, you've been in the children's activity space. That's primarily how I know you, from being involved in other events. How important is it for you to... I always feel like with you, you're always really wanting to support the children's activity providers. I think you go out of your way to give them support through different things like webinars, you attend events, you get involved. Just walk me through what that means to you, because at the end of the day, you don't have to do that.
So it's lovely that you've noticed that, because you are right. That's basically where I get my kicks, really. When I first started working, I worked in a multi-level marketing business. So it's for a company called Southwestern. When I was still at uni, we flew away to America and we sold educational books door to door.
Wow.
And then we came back at the end of the summer and we told our friends, and then we took them with us. And then we all came back and they told their friends and we took them with us. So I did it for 5 years in the end. And I built an organization of about 50 people who were, going away to America every summer to sell these books door to door. And I think I tell that story to answer your question, because the thing I enjoyed about that was not selling books door to door. That was actually probably traumatic. But the process of actually helping the other people and training them and teaching them and seeing them grow was the big thing that gave me the biggest kicks ever. And I loved it. And I still get that every time I speak to somebody and I can give them a little bit of wisdom that's going to help them. It just feels great. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe properly in karma, but I kind of do, I think if you whatever you give out to the world is what comes back to you. So I just give as much as I can. And then, I have been very lucky and very blessed, and who knows if that's why, but.
No, it totally is. I believe the same as well. If you put out good energy, the good energy comes back. And this year, your official partner, your official headline sponsor, we're really excited to have you on board. And it must have been obviously we spoke about doing this project and you took a leap of faith to join us on this adventure. What sparked your interest? What made you go, yeah, we should do this?
Well, there's a business response and there's a personal response to that question. From a business point of view, it's stacked up. So this is not just about one, it's not about kids' activities, this is about all activity providers, all class-based providers. And that we want to increase the awareness of our brand across all the different niches within class providers. And I've known you, as you say, for quite a long time, and you are a powerhouse. So I think I achieve more in a month than I achieve in a whole year, frankly. You inspire me, and I was confident that, you know, this was going to be a big task for you, but I know you're going to do an amazing job with it. It's going to be fantastic. So I really wanted to be a part of that. So that's kind of the business side. But from a personal point of view, you know, as we've been talking about, I've been working with activity providers and class providers for 16 years. And I just love them. You know, the people that run these businesses are amazing. And it's really hard work, and they achieve incredible things, and they impact so many lives. You know, we between me and my kids, we go to so many different classes, and you know, it's just lovely to be a part of an event that's going to recognise that activity, those achievements, and it's going to celebrate them, and it's just going to be, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun as much as anything.
So what classes do you go to now? What classes do your children go to?
So me personally, I do two things for myself, really. One of them is I play a lot of squash, which is not technically a class activity. But about a year and a bit ago, I started karate with my kids. We all do it together, which is lovely because they're quite old. So the fact they actually want to do stuff with me now still is nice. So we do karate every Thursday and Saturday, and I'm now an orange belt. So I've passed 2 gradings, going for the next one. But I love that. So much fun. The kids, my gosh, they do multi-sports, gymnastics, football, drama and theatre. I've probably forgotten some stuff. They do karate as well. They do a lot. My wife does stuff as well.
Yes, the thing is these classes that we all take part in as a child and as an adult, and our children do, because my children go to classes as well, has a massive impact on their lives in the future. Like years to come, they'll look back and say, oh, do you remember when I did X, Y, and Z, and we did that every week? And I think that's the piece that I'm really wanting to celebrate, is that I don't think providers actually realise how much of an impact they have on families and the local community and the economy, like long term. They just do it because they love doing it. But in years to come, people will be like, oh, do you remember we used to go to that class down the road where we used to meet, and people meet their husbands, wives, like partners, future people all the time.
If it wasn't for that baby swimming class 16 years ago, I wouldn't be talking to you now.
Exactly. And it's just, that's the piece that I'm like, this is the bit that I want to celebrate in the awards. And well, basically this whole year is just a whole year of storytelling, telling people's stories, showing people what's possible, showing the impact they have. And then we'll come together on that one day to celebrate the providers. And Tim's going to be, guys, for you guys watching, Tim's going to be co-hosting the morning with me. So we're going to have some great speakers lined up for you. It's going to be a really, really good morning. And then obviously in the evening, that's when the big show will happen, and we will see what happens then. But it's going to be fun. It is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm so excited that you're on this journey with me. And I'm so happy that you took the leap of faith, because you didn't know really what was going to happen. I've came up with a concept, a vision of what I wanted to build, and you took the leap of faith to go, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So thank you so much, Tim, for doing that, and the team at Book That In for coming on this journey with us. Last question I've got for you. So what's the one piece of advice that you would give to a class business owner in 2026?
One piece of advice. I think I would say don't let the external factors make you believe you can't succeed. Because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world around us, locally and internationally, everything that can make us feel unsettled. And, there's arguments that the current government aren't being massively business friendly and all that kind of stuff. This is not a political thing. But there's always stuff outside of us and outside our businesses that we can use as excuses for reasons that we can't achieve what we want to achieve. So if it was only one piece of advice, and you did limit me there, but if it's just one, it would be to focus on yourself, take responsibility for everything that happens. Don't outsource that. Don't blame it on external factors, and just think, if it's up to me, what do I need to do in order for my dreams to come true? And there's enough parents out there, there's enough people who want what activity providers do, there's enough money out there. It's all out there for people to achieve their goals. They just need to maybe tweak what they're doing and change what they're doing, but it's there, and they shouldn't let it get to them.
Well, I love that, Tim. No, I completely agree with you. It's focus, isn't it? It's like, don't get distracted. Don't listen to the narrative that you're being told, because like you said, there's money out there to be made. There are people running really successful businesses. And I think it does come down to, that whole being focused on what you want to achieve and just going for it. I don't watch the news. I don't read the news. As far as I'm concerned, I live in Chrissy's bubble. What I can see is what's happening.
I must admit, I'm very similar. I'm very similar. Yeah. I'll check it every now and then, but I don't actually.
Yeah, we just got to focus on what we can do, because you can't control the uncontrollables, basically. And we just have to make it work and just do the things we have to do. Oh, thank you so much for joining us today, Tim, and sharing that you like a bit of karate and your business journey. Yeah, and you need to go and dig out a picture of Bronwyn on her daddy on the Olympics. You definitely got it, so I'll see if I can find it in one of my I'm
definitely going to try and find
files I've got somewhere. I think it was definitely 2012. If you've loved today's conversation, please comment and like on the video. Share this with another provider who you think will be this story would resonate with you. And keep following us, because this year, like I said, we are telling the stories of everybody from partners right through to the judges, right through to the nominees and finalists over the next 12 months. It's going to be pretty epic. And thank you for Tim joining us on this adventure and having the faith in me that I'm going to deliver.
You definitely will. I can't wait. But thank you for having us as well.
Bye for now, everyone.